But we are back on air now. State of Play. Myself, Evans, Raymond, Winston. I'm pretty sure you've seen our flyer today promoting the conversation. And when I woke up January and I started looking forward to this year, I knew there was going to be, a very important political year for both parties, primaries, parliamentary and presidential. I didn't anticipate that we'll have so many people that I know who, prior to this year, I thought, they had no inclination. They didn't even have a fiber in their being that can be partisan or go into politics. But that's what we've seen. It's amazing. The flood of people. At the last count, as far as doctors were concerned, I counted more than 10 in the NDC. In fact, significantly more than that. A lot of them were significant positions in terms of the GMA's own ranking, having resigned, and gone into full-time politics, picking up forms. MPP also has his fair share. A lot of people that I didn't know before, had ambitions, have approached me and say, I'm going. Yesterday I met one who was on Strong and Sassy. She does the Glitz women.
Cynthia Lumon?
Yes.
Oh, she's contesting?
Yeah, she told me when she entered the room in a place in Ashanti region.
Oh, I see.
Yes. She said it. She walked in and...
If it's not one of those settler communities or...
No, she told me this is the constituency where the KNUST is.
Sorry.
Ofori,
yes.
So she's contesting... MPP.
Yes, MPP ticket.
Oh, I see.
But she's Cynthia Quatting.
Yeah, no, I'm not disputing that. My only point was that it surprised me that... listen, on one hand, and you are doing the list, there's a long list of people. I'm not shocked. I really feel a lot more people will get involved, even though it's contrary to everything we've been told about participation being low because of the unethical, monocratic, and other ills that the political space has been bedeviled with. So you get my point.
Yeah.
I am failing to reconcile both. And well, some of the people, let me be frank, they have no business entering mainstream politics except for self-aggrandizement and for personal parochial purposes. And one has to be frank on that because, Evans Mensah, I have a general theory about, some people can serve. They might not have done much for themselves.
Yeah.
But they can serve communities and represent these areas properly.
Yeah.
I believe that entering into the area of partisan politics is serious business.
Absolutely.
Especially for a part of the world which is impoverished. A part of the world where an entire district can have 79% of its residents drinking polluted water.
Yeah.
That kind of world, you need the very best of your brains contributing meaningfully to lift people out of those doldrums. Not those who are there to go and pass on their personal problems to the state, enrich themselves in the process, or make their personal advancements being known. I hope you get my point.
Yeah.
So when I see the people, some of them I can dismiss right there and say that this guy is just interested in merely adding up to the numbers. Other people too just want to make money because they saw other people that they might have left school with, people that on university campuses, they struggle to pay their school fees, but all of a sudden, they just get into parliament, get into party positions, and they have become people who now drive the very best of cars. Seeing that, somebody told me that it is only developing worlds like our own that the route to making money is not the private sector, but in politics. Mm-hmm. Because the state is basically captured the entire space. The state is a big spender. So the state can make you rich in a day with a single contract. So I am, and some of them, if you hear them.
Yeah, I mean, there's one of them that when I saw just got me thinking about this conversation. This guy who became famous because of this lavish wedding that he did.
Yeah, what's his name? Evans Mensah, yes.
He has Winston's beard some. Just that his beard looks more...
The nice men of this country.
Yeah, his beard looks...
There are some people in the Republic.
This one looks emaciated, This one...
I thought you said it was the same thing.
Very well. No, this one is... This is a fake, imitation.
No, but we have been doing...
What is the fake? The man is wearing his beard here.
This one has been affected by, swollen shoot,
With a beard. It's actually nice, you know.
Yeah.
No, but you see, I've seen that.
That's not Kojo Jones. And his, for me, before that wedding, I didn't know him from anywhere. Now he's running. And then I've seen people now say, for the last 1 or 2 years, he's actually been in the community, digging boreholes in places. Of course, he knew that he wanted to do this. And maybe this whole wedding thing was, you know, because, I mean, for me, I don't know whether you knew him before. You didn't know him before? Before the wedding?
I'd heard of him before.
You know,
but I'd never seen a picture of him.
Entertainment programs. Largely following entertainment programs.
Yeah, I mean,
so if you check the blogosphere, where the entertainment people thrive a lot, you will see that he was known.
Someone actually mentioned him to me one time. You know, I was at an event in Jalukope, and they said, this is Beatrice Jones Mensah, Kojo Jones' sister, cousin. So that's when I actually heard, you know, his name for the first time. But you're right. I mean, he's shown up there. But you see, Evans, you see this whole thing about, Raymond was asking the question that people are into. There are two schools of thought, and I won't do a lot of theory today. I mean, there's a school of thought that suggests that when a lot of good men get into politics en bloc, it could change the face of politics.
Yeah.
A lot of good men
get into politics, it could change the face of politics.
Emphasis on good men.
Because if you go one...
So if you have 270 MPs,
and you have about
75, you have about 200 of them. Or even half of them.
Or even sometimes even a quarter of them.
Yeah.
You have about a quarter of them, or even a fifth of them being good men. They can actually rally around and create something.
They may influence other people.
Changes. But if you go one, Evans Mensah, you get into politics today, and you say, Charlie, I bind the BBA, but also I won't take. They say, hey, now that I buy, they say, I also win the sheep. But the first, second, third, fourth, you also would have joined them. That's the point. But you ask that simple question: is that really the situation? I think that there's also an angle of Edidija, where people feel that the national cake is not being shared equally.
Yeah, so how
about I get in there? Because you see, the funny thing is that this whole thing, I'm into serve.
Which is what everybody says.
That's what everybody says. I'm into serve. It's not really the case. And I've seen, you want to make a point?
Sometimes you can know that this guy has no business serving. From the very things that is informing the kind of service you want to deliver. If you listen to some of them, Evans, they have no ideology, they have no philosophy, they have no proper appreciation of any substantive. Yes. So such a person, there is no, in fact, he is just there because he's been able to dig borehole.
Yeah.
He's been able to carry some boys around, give them alcohol, and they are following him.
And you know, the other funny thing is that you probably start doing a thing or two in your constituency.
And become popular small. Sit on radio. Go and represent the party at some events.
Sometimes you don't even have to represent the party. They know you. And then the next minute they are calling you, people are mentioning your name. You know, the delegates also have a nice way of misleading people. You know, because you know, the more the candidates, the more money they make.
Kojo says he's going to be NDC flag bearer in this election.
Oh, somebody's lying.
Somebody ought to be lying to him.
Yeah, I mean, but this is the thing though that for me delivers a verdict when I hear them say, "I'm going in there to serve." Since 1992 to date, how many parliaments have we had? What? 8 parliaments. I think the verdict is out now.
That's true.
Overwhelming majority of the members of parliament we've had, almost, in fact, all of them before they go, tell us they want to serve, right? After 4, 8, and some of them are blessed to go, you know, the communities they were in, this country is where we are today.
And their personal situation
improves.
Yeah.
This country's current circumstance is a verdict on all those 8 parliaments.
Because look, we talk about overborrowing.
Yeah.
Virtually every goes to the same parliament. Human beings approved it.
So when they come and say, "Oh, I'm a young person, I'm an actor, I'm a doctor, and I want to get in there and I want to serve, I want to make a difference," just listen to the messages that those new faces want to jump. Saying we want to make a difference in service. In
you want jobs,
you know.
But you are a doctor.
Hold on. This morning you said something. No,
one second. This is what I have to say. You are a doctor. If you want to make a difference, 3 years ago we reported that Dafima Busie is a district without a doctor. With the greatest of respect, you make better difference there than having to go sit in. What are you going to the department? Deploy doctors there? Really? So I'm not saying that should be the fault, but we have personal ambition. There's nothing wrong with telling people that I want to also help do this and do that. But it is my ambition to be in the house.
Yeah.
It might not get you far. But stop deceiving people with this godly, altruistic position that you want to make.
This morning we're talking about politics.
Which difference?
We're talking about campaign finances.
Yeah.
Now, you, the man who says he's going to serve the people, do you pay money before you go and serve?
What be that?
You are going to like could you send this as 4 million?
Yeah.
Yes, 4 million Ghana cedis.
4 million.
Do you pay money before you go and serve?
And even that is,
you see, that's average.
That's
So that means there are outliers, those above it and those below it.
No, that's why they go there and they're always broke. But you see, this is the point. And that's why they're always doing business.
And there's no way you'll be paid your parliamentary salary.
Oh, you will not get 4 million.
no.
Currently at 28,000.
Yeah.
no, the whole 4 years you won't get 4 million. If you save everything.
Oh, no, but maybe.
Wait.
Yeah.
The whole period.
Yeah.
28,000
Yeah.
times 10. It takes you to 280,000 plus 56,000. It takes you to 330,000 a year.
Yeah.
Multiply that by 4. It takes you to about 1.4 million. That's your salary.
And that is when you are saving everything without
But
taking a
you can
penny.
save every salary. Let me continue.
Why your family won't they eat?
but that is where a lot of things happen. That is where a lot of you've been in.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course.
But you see, how do you pay money to go and save?
Yeah.
And you know my very good friend, our very good friend Titus Bayo. So I saw him. I saw Titus.
A good man, by the way.
Yes, making some donations to. Issa Dafiama Lambusi.
I was talking about their constituency. He's from there.
He's from there.
That constituency we have reported previously.
So I saw him. And I'll say this. And
the constituency of former general secretary.
Yes, and I said that, I saw that you have gone to make some donations there, and I can see you have political ambition. Senor Hossi would not let me be. Why are you people like that? Just want somebody to does something for his people, he has politics. I said, well, I'm looking for him today.
So how long ago was this?
This was last year.
Oh,
and I remind him that sometimes you can see that people, you see, the point is that everybody has his own plans. Sometimes there's self-actualization.
Yes.
You feel that's when you feel that you've reached
there.
You think that you've reached there.
There's nothing wrong with doing that.
There's nothing wrong with
charading it in some nonsense about.
And you know, one day I was on radio and I spoke to a certain man who wanted to be MP. And he said something. Now, on the day, I thought he was wrong. But after that, I said, this guy is a truthful man. He said, we've done well. We have served, we have taught, we've done a lot of things. We've reached a place where we feel that that's why he wants to go to parliament.
Which is, to me, honest.
Yeah, he would.
That's why. I've done something.
Self-actualization.
I feel that that's my next step. Yeah. In any case, anybody who goes to parliament may have the ambition of also becoming a minister. Yes, minister. You become minister, you get some resources and all of that. Yeah. Then you try to move forward.
So you self-actualize.
Yes.
And remind you, the best time to join a political party is when the party is in opposition.
Absolutely.
That's the best time to join a political party.
Lowered because there's no.
And so if you're anybody with a lot of resources and you have a lot of clout, that's the best time to join a political party. Because once you go, they open double. If they have four,
they're desperate.
A typical example: Ojo Aponkroma. When he was going to run the ticket of the MPP, they said he had not reached the mandatory 2 years.
Yeah.
You remember that story?
Yeah, it was a big deal. Yeah,
it was a big deal. You remember the Neiman House?
Yeah.
Called the party and settled that matter.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Dr. Zaneto Rollins.
Same.
It ended up in court.
It went to court.
COVID. No, it's not COVID. What's the thing that happened at Circle? The June 3rd disaster.
June 3rd, yeah.
That's when she came out as leading a relief process.
Yes.
At that time, people were warning the likes of Nehemiah.
Hey,
be careful. We've heard that they are holding meetings and they want to replace. This girl, she's not being registered on our books. And at that time, for the records, it was not the case. Yeah. She didn't even have an ID card.
Exactly.
You get my point. The entire machinery of a political party agreed, connived, built up.
Let's put it there.
People, just because this is Rollins' daughter, to make it happen. It ended up at the Supreme Court. I remember I covered that story.
Yeah.
But it was, in a way, suggesting to somebody who was not even mainstream that, hey, we can make you, and they made her.
We can.
I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying we need more people in our politics. But we need, with the greatest of respect, the right people.
No, but
there are countries. See, if you go and listen to Khan, who is a young lady, she's under 30. She's in the UK. My favorite UK politician is Bell Adi. Bell is Streatham MP. Bell had basically nothing when she wanted to contest because she was a community organizer. Obama, even though he had a PhD along the line, was also a community organizer. The people only felt that this girl is into service. She has nothing. So in that community, they rallied around her. She's the one who is leading them to go and clear places, clearing up water bodies, removing all the things, petitioning groupings. She's an activist on the ground. They didn't for a second consider, when the Labour Party was interested in her, they didn't consider whether or not she had even a place to put her head.
Yeah, of course. But that's
you get my point?
Yeah, but that's how it's
when
done.
she came to Ghana to attend the, what they call it, there was a conference of African students. When she came to Ghana, she was representing the Black Students Union. Come and see her. Not as resourceful as anybody could be. I am insisting that that is where you raise leaders. Leaders who are the inbuilt quality, who are willing to serve whether they get personal or not. Whether they really, and they are not there because they want to have a better name or improve their lot or be closer to the pie or get the money. And I'm saying if places like the United Kingdom uses methods like this, and of course some also fall through, some very terrible people become MPs too. But if they use method like this, I'm expecting that countries where who gets
the need is greater.
Yes,
the need for
because
development is greater.
If one person takes salary, MP salary, the amount of money you mentioned, that can build so many boreholes.
No, but
so in that case, it is very urgent that we get the right people who do not think that their main ambition on this earth is to have better following on social media.
But here's the thing, though. I believe it's possible to have great, good, qualified people who probably have served to go to Parliament. I believe Titus Bayo. I don't know him that well. I've just engaged him very extensively on radio, and I've met him at Kolebu and etc. I mean, and just from observation, it comes across as a very capable, very good. It seemed to come from a good place. Now, this is the challenge, though. Good men go to Parliament and become bad men. In fact, that has been the tragedy of our politics. Extremely good men.
That's because you don't have too many good men in there.
Because when you go, the majority will corrupt you. Look,
exactly.
In a full Republican history, I can possibly count one MP who stood out for himself and for the national interest. You know what happened to him? He scored PCP for it. He really became a pariah.
Yeah.
Right? He became a pariah within his own ranks.
They had a mental problem.
Absolutely.
You know that, right?
No, absolutely.
Yes, country.
Yes.
Oh, this guy.
Yes.
Don't mind him.
So for one, I can only can you mention anybody else?
But didn't make
anybody else who
really make
can you mention anybody in since 1992 who you can say, lone voice who is saying my party is doing this, I don't like it, I think it's wrong. You will say for it is. These so-called MPs who came fighting Ken Ofori-Atta, and when they came out in that press conference, they had unanimous support.
Yeah.
And we thought, for once.
I went to write on Facebook that I feel represented.
For once.
Maybe it was too early.
Only took a few days later for us to realize, we were deceived. My point is, all these young men who are throwing their hat in the race, left, right, center, abandoning their professions and going in there. Look, either you are you're deceiving us, and I think many of you are, honestly, many of you are, claiming you want to go and serve when we know what you want to go and do
is to improve your personal lot. If possible, then you extend to your family.
But I also believe there's a small minority who genuinely believe they can do something right. However, those good few men, they may get the nod, and a year or two into that, we will come and do a show here.
Yeah, because you see, Evans, let me just
come and do a show here.
Let me just make this point. I can understand where you're coming from. Now, I agree that there are some of, look, Titus Bayo, when you have conversations with him, even off record, you can see someone who's passionate about the nation, who wants to see Ghana develop. But that's one person. That's something that you may have picked up engaging him.
Yeah.
The other point is, what is it that he has that you do not know?
True.
But this is the other point. Look, if you get to Parliament now, and the people are chasing you for money every day. I know a member of Parliament who went to Parliament, and the moment he got into Parliament, and the person started chasing me, told them, you know what? I am not going back to Parliament. Don't come to me again. I am not going back.
Yeah.
Don't come to me again. So he decided he wasn't going to go back to Parliament. Don't come and be asking me for money. Don't come and queue in front of my house asking me for money and come and be eating every morning. I won't do this again. What kind of life is that? There are people who would get into it and become frustrated and would just leave our Parliament. There are others who are also going to get in there. They wouldn't be frustrated. They probably would love it and say, let me use this opportunity to make more money. The point is that it is true that good men go into politics and end up becoming bad men. But we have seen some good men also in there who remain good men, one at least. PC Apiofori.
And some left.
But you know what happened to him?
There are others who left.
Yeah.
They came into parliament, realized it wasn't going to work for them. They left. They said, you know what? Okay, I came into parliament. I was forced to do a second term. Then a second term. I think it's time for me to just bow out. I can't do this anymore. But if we really want to have... And see, the other point is that we've been talking about the middle class. And this is the point I want to make. That the middle class would have to be part of our democratic process. Because if they stay away, if good men don't want to get involved in politics, they are very bad men, sometimes stupid people taking decisions for them. Yeah. And this is where I see some of these people, wanting to get into politics. As to whether they'll be allowed to bring their goodness to bear, only time will tell.
And another thing. So last week, was another guy, the deputy majority leader, Afenyo, was at a public forum. And he repeated this often stated subject of how poor the MPs become when they leave office, and how you're just making a point, and how difficult it is, that the pressure that they are under when they are in parliament, whilst they serve in parliament, and how it is not such a rosy profession to be a member of parliament as anybody else thinks. He was talking about how members of parliament who leave are so broke they can't even pay their own hospital bills. And look, we all have heard this before, how terrible it is, and Parliament is not really good when you meet them.
But members of Parliament, they're also human beings.
Look, so I ask myself,
there's NHS for everyone on the streets. They do not deserve this special treatment.
I'm yet to meet an MP when I speak to her about it. They say, Charlie, it's hard, Charlie, I'm
so I want to leave today.
But yet,
even those who lose their seats, they want to come back.
Yeah, some of them go to court. It's hard, but you're still going to fight in court.
Yeah, I mean, so just last week, and yet see the numbers, sheer number of people living well paid. Look, doctors who are earning a lot of good money, they can do a lot of locum and go. They want to go into a place where those who are in there, and the senior deputy majority leader, Mr. Queen, Charlie, the place is horrible. And they still want to go.
But you see, our time is.
So what is there?
There's a lot of goodness there. Before we go, Dede is not playing.
So you're happy?
Oh.
You proposed earlier today that should be the case.
Yes.
So is he on the bench?
Oh, of course he's on the bench.
So who's playing?
Kudus. Mohammed Kudus.
Okay.
So this is our starting lineup. Guess who's in post?
Who?
Atizigi.
I'm told that the
fell on somebody.
Atizigi is in there. So Atizigi is in there. You have Amati and Jiku, who are central defenders. Gideon Mensah is on the left, with Dennis Odoi on the right. Odoi. Then Pate and Adu, they are holding midfielders. Kudus, Kamadin Sulemana, and Jordan Ayew.
But Jordan too.
Oh, a striker defender.
That's a Jordan. Let me read a few of your messages on the subject. And I have a lot of the messages on Twitter. I know you guys are on the live stream, so let's share all together. Johnny Wade says, most of them are entering because they feel they are famous, but not because of national agenda. Pray for Addicts says, for the goodies, of course, it's time to make parliamentary seats a national service thing, where parliamentarians are paid like NSS personnel.
Yeah, they see which ones will take it up.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, listen, sometimes we should not make it look like this is an extraordinary job. Let's be fair. This is not something you write exams and pass to conduct.
So do your own job when it's time for you.
Yes, please.
Then you go and make the losses.
Yes, because the laws. You are not taking PhDs in law for the lawmaking.
So you go.
Let's not pretend.
Take allowances. Once you are there, you take allowances.
Brilliant. And because why? The people sat down. They allowed massive debt to be incurred. The people today, we have heard the minority say boldly that they are not going to approve the nominees. We just hope that they will live up to it. You don't know it's happened before. These same people told us they're going to approve people.
Yes.
Then they overvoted for them.
They overvoted.
Hey, how I Acquah, I remember. No, how I remember. I was shocked. So you see, I mean, there is no conscience in the house.
Even Kenofriata.
Can you believe that?
They could have stopped. They wanted Kenofriata out.
Yeah.
They could have stopped him at source.
Yes.
Remember?
Oh yeah, of course.
The man was not well. He had gone.
In fact, the plan was to, and there were members of the NPP who were prepared to vote against Kenofriata.
Exactly. And yet, NDC people.
And yet, the minority and the majority on the appointments committee
Why do you vote for him?
it should be approved.
This
And then later, a year or two in, when he's
they say we are doing what they call it. We are demanding 2 tests to go against the man.
People, just as we were talking about, the day is not even on the team sheet.
No,
Andre,
maybe
he's not
he
on
has
it.
an injury.
Maybe he has retired fully from the black.
he picked up
We wish him well.
He has not
We
retired.
wish him very well.
Abraham Fim Gabra says, money, money, money. That's all they are after.
Yeah.
He
Okay,
says.
so
any more on the links?
Rain says, Dear Mr. Evans Mensah, please, when I go to embark on the Joy FM Campus Connect again, as you did in 2016,
Next year.
next year.
Very highly likely this man will come because like last year he took the job from me. So. The political, the ballot box. You come around. You
so
be there.
as is being told, and it has been agreed next year.
Yes, next year.
Okay,
Next
somebody say, ask him again. Oh, we are watching. That's still on the.
No, but his answer
ballot
will
boxes.
be there. Alfonso says it's a lucrative business in the name of service to the country and to God. If you want ill-gotten wealth in Ghana without working for it at all, the clear path is to enter into politics as articulated by Lumumba.
Now, Linda Goka says, that's the point. The national cake isn't being shared equally. So he wants to get close to power.
Yeah.
Most of them were in Dinja.
In Dinja. Yeah, chopping some.
You get Dadaba says, Kojo Nkrumah has been a great disappointment. Alexis Ampofo says, I had so much hope in this parliament, and I understand nothing changed but negotiations. You know, we said that when we were covering it. We said that, I mean, one of the things that may happen to all of
May
us.
only up the ante.
Oh, it will. I'm sure it has.
For some people, their
I'm sure it
negotiation
has.
powers.
But before we go, Ghana, Angola, we have to. Your predictions, Evans?
Oh, I think Ghana. I don't
No,
care
but of course,
about
I'm a
the scores.
Ghanaian.
We should win.
I'm a Ghanaian, so I can't.
But Winston has said that we will lose previous matches. It doesn't mean he's not Ghanaian.
He's not patriotic.
Wow, some people are making.
No. You see,
Yeah.
there are some matches that it is obvious you know that. And you see, sometimes too, you want to save the country some money. So if the winning bonus is going to be too much, you come home early, then we'll save money. We can channel those
Because
funds
it won't go
into
anywhere.
areas. So that one is normal. But this is a qualifier. We must be at the AFCON. You know, I've never watched an AFCON game before. I want to make time and go and watch an AFCON.
No, must we?
Oh, we should go
The
there.
people who sit in this country and say we are cutting back on every important part, sometimes I actually think that we defeat that purpose. If we really mean business, the only survival things we need to give to our country, if it's not absolutely crucial and essential to me, if we do not go to AFCON, the world will not come to an end. Secondly, if we, because are we going to win? Are we likely to win or something like that? But the world will not come to an end if we don't go to AFCON. No. The same way I felt DPD I had that if we didn't do set match celebration with millions of cities, the world will not come to an end.
But of course, the world never come to an end because we didn't qualify for AFCON. In 2004, we did not qualify. We're still here. We went in 2006
Yes.
anyway.
Yeah, so
that's it.
well, I really think that.
Oh, but I just want.
But I think we should win the match, boom.
Oh, the match
playing there.
Oh, the match they will win.
Yeah.
The match they will win. Yeah,
And we should make the players sacrifice. We are on austerity time, so
Yeah,
to
we
do
should pay
haircut
them.
on
We
their
should pay them.
it's national service. It's the highest distinguished service you can say position. When we're selecting our top 23 in this country, we added you.
In fact, those players who won the trophies, we're not paying them like the way we are paying.
Yeah, the 1982 team. I spoke to the minister of sports at the time. You'll be shocked. The kind of things we gave to that team that won our last AFCON.
Yeah,
Evans, today,
we should
you
not
won't
pay
give
them.
it to a guy who is the best BC candidate.
That's what
in
we
the
should do.
district.
That's what we should do. Anyway,
Anyway.
enjoy the rest of your day. You want to go and watch the match.
Oh, I'll watch it.
Enjoy the rest of the day.